Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Taylor. My desk is always messy and I love planning. Let me move some stuff. Okay. It's about that time. For what, you may ask? It's about that time that we flip through the month. So what month is that? That is going to be April. No, it'll be March. I think I'm going to kind of try and do a daily play-by-play and open up, I don't know, maybe not. I think that might, in theory, flipping through these one day at a time, would be fun. And then I don't know, we'll see how it goes. Take back everything I just said 5 seconds ago. Okay, so we are starting with March. March was very busy for us. It was a very fun month. My mom visited 2 holidays. We have St. Patrick's Day, Easter, an ear, nose, and throat doctor for my daughter. I got a haircut, work picked up, field trips at school. I don't know if I said my mom visited. I got a tattoo, birthday parties, school things, just lots of fun stuff. So March was very, very good to us. Now let's move on to our first day. March 1st, it looks like I had a quick little payday right before that. We had some good weather. Finally, some good weather. I mean, as much as you can for spring and a very windy area. It's either windy, rainy, hot in the sun, but then cold. I don't know. Weather's crazy. We were prepping for my daughter's birthday party, so that was always very exciting. I finally wound down a little bit at work and had the whole next week off, which was very fun. I live for those moments. But yeah, it was the day before my daughter's birthday, so we ended up doing grocery shopping because we were so close to payday. And then I went and we picked up a ton of party prep stuff. And then we also, it says donuts to school. We didn't end up doing donuts. We ended up, I wanted to be a fun mom. And instead of doing the donuts, we ended up getting, what did we get? It was those Oreo, not popsicles, I don't even know what you want to call it. Those Oreo ice cream sandwich things. I don't know. We took them to her school and she was the cool kid, so for the day, because she got to bring snacks in for her birthday, and that just made my mom heart happy. The next day, like I said, nice weather. Walk the dogs on the beach. It's something that my husband always does, and I always joke with him. I'm like, how come you never do anything fun when I'm home? Because it's I rarely have time where it's just me and him, and so when we do, we just kind of veg out. So I was like, how come we never go do all this fun stuff? So he ended up taking me and the dogs. We walked on the beach and then walked around the little touristy area we live. The next day was my daughter's 8th birthday bash. Not only was it her birthday, which we don't do this very often, but it was her birthday, and then because it was on a Saturday, we were able to have the party that exact same day, which was amazing. So her party was 2 to 5. It was supposed to be I feel kids' birthday parties are always about 2 hours. At least mine are, and the ones that we attend, I feel are always about 2 hours. But I wanted them, it was they were doing an American Girl doll themed party, and I wanted them to have enough time to play and do all the things that they wanted to do. And yeah. So I extended it from 2 to 5 that day. These are just a few of our little very few of our little odds and ends that we actually had to do, which was order pizza. I had to go and find the platters that I was going to put all the I don't know, the extracurricular type of foods, the fruit kebabs and all that kind of stuff. So we did all that. Afterwards, she picked a couple of friends from the party to stay the night. So she had a big sleepover, and I made breakfast the next day. We ended up, one of her big gift was an electric scooter, because my husband and I both have electric scooters, and so my husband ended up taking her for a ride. It was a super chill day, super chill day. And that was I remember she was off and on kind of sick that week, and so was Beatrice. February was not good to us, and part of March was not good to us as far as being sick. Sickness just would not stay away between it was just terrible. The stomach bug, it took forever to make it through everybody. But yeah, so here's Friday. I don't really know how to use these pages. I've just kind of like let my daughters draw on them. I let them do it for this one too. So here's Friday, that day that I said my husband and I, it was like my first full off day. We did our Walmart run. Of course, so I did this. A lot of my planning does come that morning, like morning of type stuff. So I was planning on doing the donuts to her class, but then when we went to Walmart, they weren't like the very super, super fresh ones. And I was like, I'm not going to give these poor kids some stale donuts. So that's when we pivoted and tried something different. But these were just some of our like smaller to-dos. And then I always put, when I cook, I always like write that in here. And then it was a sunny day. So again, we went and did the whole walk. Memory planning, super chill day here. Sydney, one of my daughters was sick in bed, so my husband, like I said, took my daughter. Apparently I filmed some videos that day, made French toast, just like a whole thing. So we'll move on to Monday. And then on the side, it was just, I started to put stuff down, but then there was like so much space, and I just wanted a spot to capture that photo. I think I like printed too many photos, to be honest, and so I just stuck one there. Moving on to the next week. This week is like, it just looks super busy, and I love it. Like, this was one of the first weeks that I felt like, like back at home. Excuse me. Back at home in my planning system. So I also, it was like my first full week off at work. So between that and all of these pages, it all just looks very like fun and full and fills in, and I'm just loving it. I have a lot of little to-dos kind of sprinkled in. It was nice that week, so we ended up doing like a big shed clean out. I tried a crock pot roast meal. I ate it. I like enjoyed laying the spread out for everybody, but like I don't like pot roast. They ate it, but it wasn't like amazing. It was a little dry. I don't think we went to dance at all this week. I didn't even write it here. And then, excuse me, I need to wake the heck up. I didn't even end up writing it here. This day I wrote it, but I'm sure we probably didn't even go. Lazy day. Oh, I guess we did. We went to Five Guys, and they're like close to each other. So we washed all the laundry. I think it was because this is my oldest daughter's dance night, and she had already gotten sick earlier in the week prior, so like she was good to go. But between my two youngest, it was like crazy how fast that sickness tore through our house. We were like cleaning a lot because we had to wash so much laundry, and like everything and everywhere they went or touched or we touched, we wanted to like do a serious clean. So there was so much of that. And then I'm gonna like stand up a little because I keep yawning and I don't know why. So there we go. I had a work task that day that I had to complete. Luckily, everyone felt better for this day. I remember that specifically because my daughters, they ended up having a big, like, book fair night at the school, and we ended up going and doing, like, a big carnival event. So, yeah, I wrote down all the girls went to school because that was, like, what we were working up towards all week, was that we were going to finally be able to, like, everyone's going to go to school, and everyone's going to feel better, and we're going to go have fun at this carnival night, because there'd been, like, a couple of other nights that there was things, like bingo nights at the school that I was not able to attend, and my amazing husband just took them. So, yeah, that was really good. Since that was, like, my full week off of work, my brain was just, like, going. Like, I want to fix this up. I want to add more to this spot of the house. I want to do this differently in the house. I want to do that. So I put in, like, a big Amazon order of, like, different goodies I wrote for the home just to, like, spruce it up. It was, like, a lot of just, like, things that had fallen to the wayside that I had wanted to spruce up. So that's what we did. Walmart order pickup. I ended up scheduling a new tattoo. I wrote here that it was like a shin piece I wanted. Then I like reached out to the girl who did it. We clicked immediately. I wrote down when I was like putting tanning oil on my face. It's like this natural tanning brand that I like. But I really only use that on my face just to give, my cheeks are naturally pretty rosy. And then the rest of my face looks like really, like, ill some of the time. I feel like in between that, my rosy cheeks, I look like super sick all the time. I feel like if I don't put this tanning oil on, and it lasts for like, I don't know, 3 to 4 days, and it doesn't like make your skin, if you put too much in one spot, obviously you get really orangey, but it just like makes you look like you're an even complexion. So like where my skin is really, really red, like in certain spots on my cheeks, it really just like evens that out, and it makes me feel better. So I love it. I also did a clarifying face mask. I found out my brother was actually in the hospital that day. He's okay now. But he was in the hospital that day, but it was like that weekend I remember just like being really like, oh, man, what is going on with him? Because I don't live in the same state as him. Pizza night, as usual, our Friday night date with the whole family. I wrote a lot of like little memory, like housekeeping type things with like our insurance agency. I wrote a little memory from my daughter. I really liked how I laid out meals this week. I didn't put it on a sticky note or anything. I just wanted to be able to like lay it all out there, the good, the bad, the ugly, all the things that we ate. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I wrote something down for 6 of the days. So who knows what happened that last day. I was prepping and gearing back up to go to work. So I was like really just getting, that's like all work related tasks. Bath night, finished a book, started a new book. Things were good. Things were good vibes. Things were vibing. And then moving on to how that week looks like here. It's really just like you'll see a lot of the same tasks that do get transferred over. But this just really gives me a little bit more space to, one, be more creative. And it's kind of, I guess, like the chicken or the egg. Like sometimes it feels like what came first type of thing. But I do a lot of the time, just as things come up, throw them down and plan and put them down. And so I do a lot of the time put a lot of things here first. But this is very much so like a night before and morning of type of planning. And I really enjoy that. And then it's also like a catch back up at the end of the night. So a lot of this is redundant in the fact that like I saw it here. I knew in advance that I needed, like if this all makes sense if you're tracking. I knew in advance these were the things I wanted to do. Boom, it's there. But then I'm also planning the day and boom, I need to put the same things there. So obviously some of it is redundant. And I'm like totally okay with that because obviously I'm making this plan far out and this plan day of. So obviously I'm like transferring things over, right? How many more times can I say the word obviously? What else? It's funny, I wrote this collagen drink that day. I thought I was like a changed woman, guys. I was like, I'm gonna have my collagen drink. Because I was like deciding, I'm like, I'm gonna grow out my hair more. I'm gonna have my collagen drink. I was like, I'm gonna put lemon in it. I had it one day and I never drink it again. It's not bad. It's just, it's not great either. And so, like, life's too short to drink things that you don't like. I just think it's funny that I wrote that, and then right next to it I wrote that my husband made me this like amazing cup of coffee. We were my husband taking more scooter rides with my baby. I always put in meals, and I always put in when I work out and like what the workout is, because I'm not only always like super concerned on if I worked out, did I work out, did I move my body that day, but I want to know like what I did, because I do like to do like an upper body focus, a lower body focus, a body weight cardio type of thing, like a full body dumbbell or barbell like type, I like to mix it up a lot. And yeah, this was when, again, like I said prior, a lot of the house with my youngest two were finally like getting the ick, and I just like wrote all of that down. I wrote all of that down so I didn't forget. And this was, like I said, the week that I was off of work, and so by the time this Thursday came around, it was like, all the girls, if they feel better, you're going to school. You're going to school. Everyone has got to go to school. It's like we're getting letters in the mail, like they're missing too much school, but it's like, you send them to school if they don't feel, I've said this before, like you send them to school even if they don't feel good, but then they get sent home anyways, and then it counts against them. It's silly. It's super silly. I had put cute little quotes in here that I guess my daughters were saying. One of my daughters was sent home that day. I wrote this because they played a lot of video games, and they love like Mario Kart and like Pet Clinic, Barbie Pet Clinic on the Switch. And I always just like, I thought back to, I don't know if it was like a Super Bowl commercial many years ago. It was like that guy with whatever type of alcohol he had. He's like, I don't always drink, blah, blah, blah. But when I do, blah, blah, blah. Or maybe it was a soap commercial. I don't remember. And so I just like wrote, I don't always stay home, but when I do, I play video games. Because I thought it was just so funny that she was, because it was like the sickness was, it was like, they would be fine, and then they would just like out of nowhere be vomiting violently. Then they'd be totally fine. And there was like so many pockets of the day that we were just like chilling, totally okay. So it was funny. It was ironic to me, I should say. But they finally all felt better. We all went to the book fair, the carnival night. My husband actually put the girls to bed that day so that my oldest and I could like cuddle and read our books together, which was so fun. Also, I wrote new markers. My amazing husband bought me all of these. There's so many of them. They have the chisel tip, and they also have like a blunt rounded tip. I adore them. I think I love them more than mild liners, and I was just getting really tired of these ones. I was very excited about these for a long time, and then I just kind of wanted that extra like blunt tip to it. And I was kind of getting bored of these colors. They just weren't sticking out as much to me, and I was missing like the vibrancy of brighter colors. And this was maybe like a 12 or 15 pack, and they're all different colors. I love them so much. So if you want to try them out, they were maybe like 12 or 15 bucks. They're the Sharpie S Note, but not just the normal S Note, because I have those, or I had those as well. But these are the Charlie S Note Duo. So that's how you, obviously, dual-sided, you get both sides. Finished at this point in time. I wrote finished 24%. I was like matching up my Kindle and my book, even though I was like reading in my Kindle, because I feel like I'm faster in that sometimes. I was like reading in my Kindle, and then finding what page I was in my book, and then inputting those pages, because they're different than the Kindle pages, into my Goodreads so I can track how much percent. It's so extra. So I could check how much percentage I was actually using or reading, because that was like super important to me. I remember putting this day together, and I just thought like, wow, I love this spread. It was just this is just pretty much all memory planning right there. And then just more memory planning on the side. It was just like a good weekend. Everyone finally felt better. It was amazing. Amazing. I used this little water tracker also. I wasn't only tracking water, but I was tracking coffee as well. Moving on to that Sunday, there was just a lot of, like I said, this was before I went back to work. So I was just writing things that I had to do for the work week. We were resetting the house. Everyone was finally better, starting a new fresh week, hopefully so no one got sick. And then obviously I got sick the next day. But yeah, we thought we had missed it. We thought we missed it, but we thought wrong. Oops. So sorry. Okay. This next week, I ended up obviously also getting sick, because that's just the way the cookie crumbles. I fell sick. I went to work this day, and then I remember thinking that day to myself, like, I thought it was just like dragging butt because I had gone back to work for the first day. I was wrong, because that night I got sick. So all that next day, that's when I got it. So that's why I wrote like I fell ill that day, because it was really like late that night. I weights before work. Nope. I was like really tired that day. I remember that I couldn't eat very much. Like I just wasn't, not that I couldn't eat, I just didn't feel like I needed to eat. Yeah, that was a weird day. Moving on, I ended up feeling better, so I was able to go to work the following day after I took like the whole day to rest. My one daughter had her ENT appointment. My youngest, I don't know if you're invested or not, but she is going to be getting tubes in, so that'll be a blessing. Hopefully that like changes things for her. What's funny though is that now my oldest daughter, I might have said this on here before also, she had a ruptured eardrum in the past, and she like used to get really chronic ear infections as well. And she, like, naturally has really big tonsils and, like, just, like, all these things, which, like, in isolated incidents are fine, but, like, in totality, I guess, like, all kind of work together. My husband said he had really large tonsils as a kid, too. I don't know. It wasn't, like, really a problem. The ear infections really kind of stopped after this past, like, December, January. We haven't really had one, I feel like, for her in a long time. But she's had since this year probably, like, which is funny because she ruptured her eardrum, like, quite a few months ago. Like, quite a long time ago. And I would say even, like, over a year ago. And anyways, she all of a sudden can't hear very well out of her ears. And she, like, failed her school hearing test. And she said even in class, like, she sometimes has to get closer to the teacher, like, just to hear things. And I was like, that's so sad. I'm going to help my baby. And so she had her 8-year-old checkup, which was perfect. And they did the hearing test then. Obviously, she failed. They put her on a round of antibiotics, even though she didn't have an ear infection. She had just, like, fluid behind her ears. I really wish we could have just, like, taken care of the referral that day. But, like, they wanted 10 days of antibiotics, which we did. The fluid's still there, and she still failed the hearing inspection. And so I think she's honestly going to be doing tubes possibly as well. We're in the referral process now for her as well. So long story short, yeah. This was like a very blue week. I did a lot of like blue type of things. I had my mom visit this week. She ended up coming in, like, surprising the girls, which was so fun. We don't live close to family, so when she was, like, able to make that trip, it was a no-brainer. So amazing. And the girls also, and me, also had, like, a whole extended weekend. We had all Friday, all Saturday, all Sunday, and it was just amazing the way it worked out. So a lot of this stuff is just, like, memory planning, stuff that we went and did, stuff like that. And then obviously there were so many memories. I could have taken space in the back, which I was going to, but I had gotten this paper when I was, like, out and about at the store with her, and I just wanted to use it. So I tipped it in, and I love the way it turned out. It's so cute, and this paper is so thin. It's like, I got 2 different packs. I see both of them right now, so I can show you. They're just from the Dollar Tree, and I just got them so that I could rip pages out of them and stick them into whatever I needed. I love them so much. So there's that. We had some really nice weather that weekend she was here, which was just so good. The girls, like, made a mud bath outside. It was so fun. I have a few little tasks, and then I also have a reminder. We order so much of this one pizza from, like, a shop close to us, and the app always tells us that we get new pizza or free pizza, but then the app never honors the free pizza. So I finally, like, made my husband go in, and they gave us that free pizza that Friday. So lo and behold, it all worked out. I started Empire of Storms. I only got, like, a couple chapters in, which I'm glad because I haven't picked it up since. Not because I don't love it, but work has been so busy. So busy. And I'm hoping, like, maybe tomorrow and next week work it'll still be there, but it'll, like, fizzle out for me a little bit. I'll have more time at night to not think about work things, hopefully. And I'm going to tandem read it. So I have, like, a whole section back here that I wrote how to tandem read it. So we'll see. But yeah, that's how that week turned out. Let me flip through here. So again, I got sick, just being so sick. And the girls were, like, really excited about yeah, they were so excited. They love St. Patty's Day. They love it. They absolutely love it. And I don't understand why. So they were using everything green that they could so that they could make a leprechaun trap. That was really it. We ate out that night. I finally got my appetite back a little bit. And I told my husband, I was like, you know what I'm getting? I'm getting Taco Bell. I'm getting Taco Bell. He's like, are you sure that's the first meal that you want after puking for the last 24 hours? I said, that's what I'm eating, babe. That's what we're gonna go get. It was so funny. And then I worked all day the next day. Thursday, that night, my mom drove to be here. My husband cooked for us. My husband walked the dogs for us. I was so tired because I had just gotten home from, like, a very long work shift on top of being, like, deathly ill the day before. I needed to catch up on sleep. So I came home, my 2-hour nap turned into a 4-hour nap. And then, which was fine because then I was able to be awake for my mom to get home or get here at like 11 o'clock that night or something. And then they all saw that she was here the next day because they were sleeping. It was just amazing. We actually had a few things to do. So we had just gotten, like, it was payday. So we had like our big grocery shopping trip. My daughter had that 8 a.m. checkup. And then we just like turned it into a whole day. My mom and I, one of our favorite pastimes is like just shopping, whether it's grocery shopping, whether it's just walking around a store, whether it's going to the Dollar Tree. We just love like browsing stores together. So, God, I miss her so much. We ended up getting Starbucks, doing the appointment, getting Starbucks, getting breakfast, and then we just like went shopping, grocery shopping, Dollar Tree, because the girls wanted to build like an official leprechaun trap. And we planted a ton of stuff. It was so much fun. My daughter made a fairy garden outside. And like I said, that was the weekend that my mom was here. So I did the same thing with that other piece of paper. I just wrote a lot of memories because I took so many photos. And I thought, what better place to try and like put all of those in rather than just in here. So there's a lot of little memories that I wrote down. The leprechaun games. The house was a mess. And yeah. I really just documented a little bit of everything. We made a mud bath. We put grass seed down. My daughter started that medicine for whatever reason. It was so nice out. My mom got so burnt, which is so funny because on the way back to Ohio, where she lives, she like hit a snowstorm. So I was like, you went from getting sunburned to snowstorm. It's funny. But yeah, we knew Sunday was like our last full day. So it was just a slow morning. And then we went roller skating. So much fun. So much fun. That next week is when work started to ramp up again. I left this blank at the time because I got my tattoo and I got like a fantasy book inspired tattoo. So I wanted to put like a quote, any quote from like one of my favorite fantasy books, and I just haven't done it yet. So I'm going to make a space for it here so that I can remember to do it. I'll like pick one from one of Sarah J. Maas's books because obviously it's going to be from her book. Busy all week at work. I was just really trying to survive, barely doing anything life related. The things that I did, I were like very little. Canceled something for one of my daughters. My husband took care of that. Looked up a bill amount, which I literally just did in my phone. And then I wrote down, the biggest thing I did that week was like write down that whole tandem read section, which took a lot of my brain power. I color coded it. It took a lot of brain power. That was like my big task for the week. What else? That Friday I got off early. So my husband and I went and grabbed food together. That next day it was pouring outside, but we still went and did like an egg hunt. We went grocery shopping. I got my tattoo. And then that next day was just like rest. And that was really it. So, yeah. I think, and I'll show you the days in here. I'm just going to like really scan through these pretty fast because it's nothing spectacular. I used one of these pages to just, like on my Pocket Moleskine, how I used to, take pages and like turn them into Instagram posts, like inspirational Pinteresty type things that I found on Instagram. That's kind of what this turned into because it was just a ton of blank space. Just a lot of blank space. This one, put some photos down. I spent time with my babies and I was like, Chris, take a picture of us. So I feel like you always have to prompt your spouse to like, you get so many photos of them, you know, everyone says, but like mom never gets in the photo. So I was like, Chris, take a photo. But yeah, and then just turn back into normal looking stuff. Very last week, which is this week, I put, this was actually from when we did that Easter egg hunt, but I didn't want to put it here. I thought it was kind of like out of place since this was Easter anyways, so I just put that there. This had a different, if you can look really close, it had a different like black quote box, and it said, I don't know, something about, who knows. But since it was Easter week, I didn't realize that when I put all of this black stuff down, which is fine. But I'm just so used to Easter being in April, I feel like. And so I just tried to like change up the aesthetic a little bit. So I threw the Happy Easter down and tried to brighten it up a little bit. But what else? I could probably put in here like a couple of things that I did today, but I have to like finish those up anyways because we've been out and about. I couldn't put this down. Whatever. That's not what this video is for. But yeah, that's really it for how this week looks. I just wrote a lot of work tasks when I went grocery shopping, when my daughter had like a big accident, which she never really has as far as like wetting the bed anymore. So I wanted to write that down. And then I'll just like blow through these. We don't eat out that much. Besides our pizza nights, we really don't eat out that much. So we ended up eating out this night, and I thought it was like so outrageous. But we hit up 3 different places because we all wanted different things. And they're all pretty close. And so I was like, okay, one in Rome. And yeah, so we went to Five Guys, McDonald's, and Taco Bell because like I said, everyone wanted different stuff. I'm just, again, gonna kind of flip through this quickly. Just like some work stuff at the top. And then a few memory things, a lot of dinners, some to-do lists, and that's really it. I wrote down on here like a quick memory log just because I had like the page already completely filled with a lot of memories anyways. But there was like something fun that my husband went and did with the girls that day. And I don't want this just to ever be a fun, like a thing that is just like one-sided, like the things that I got to do with them. Because there are a lot of times that I'm gone at work and he gets to just, he's the one that goes and does those things. And so that day he took them to PetSmart because it was like their first full day of spring break. And they were out in town anyways for my daughter's ear recheck. And so they just stopped at PetSmart to like look at the geckos and stuff like that. I love putting in little, like some of my little cards. They're from my Etsy shop, but my Etsy shop's kind of like closed right now, unfortunately, until I dive into that. But because it offers like this little like peekaboo type of thing, so I can flip it up and I could still write memories on here, but I was able to put some memory keeping right there as well. So yeah, like I said, this is today. I just need to go in and like, I wrote all this at the start of the day. The only other things that we really did today were went to the zoo. And so I'm just going to like journal about that. That's really all that's going to go there. But yeah. As far as the back, there's really nothing. I think for April, I'm going to actually film, or well, maybe film it, but try and, I don't know. I kind of miss how I used to have my months set up, to be honest. As far as how I used to set them up in the previous years. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to try and do something like that. I did for January, and I put the vellum down, but like it never really caught on for the rest. And I have just so many collections all together anyways. I don't know if it would be like out of place. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I feel after I click end to this video. But yeah, that's all I really have. It's kind of a lengthy video, but thank you all so much for hanging out, and I hope you enjoyed. You were able to like listen to this on your car ride or who knows, whatever the case may be. But I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.